Thanks for coming, everybody, and for showing up this morning. I am a wine importer and an internet retailer, and I started blogging to support my business, but it's really been a fun time. I'm a chemical engineer by training and not an economist, even though I'm going to be talking about wine sales data. I started out blogging by doing a recipe and a wine pairing every week, but then people would ask me questions about wine, and I started writing more about scientific and technical aspects. But because I'm a retailer, I follow wine sales data, and you know, you get all these rosy things. Wine sales went up 2010 over 29, except when I talked to my fellow retailers, and we were all down. So where did these data come from? I asked my sister, who's in market research, and found out that it's all consumer packaged goods data from Nielsen and IRI. They are the people who brought you supermarket scanners. They installed scanners in supermarkets in the very beginning. We also know Nielsen because of the Nielsen television family. This is a Nielsen family, but not the Nielsen family. IRI doesn't have that kind of profile, but you know, they're well known as well. And not surprisingly, the data on wine that they have is from scanners. You know, and where are scanners mostly located? You got it. Most scanners are located in supermarkets, and that's where most of the wine data that we get comes from. Also Walmart and Sam's Club and large retail liquor chains, Total Wine, Centennial, etc. And that's all. That's where the wine data that we all get come from. Supermarkets are great for convenience. They usually have low prices. Some of the chains are beginning to take wine seriously, but not every state has supermarket wine sales like New York. And not every supermarket will give their data to IRI. There are no data from Costco, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's in there. Nothing from wine retailers that are small, no online retail data, and no DTC sales. Imagine that. So, to be fair to Nielsen and IRI, if these entities gave their data to Nielsen to analyze, they'd do it. But we all know Trader Joe's doesn't share it with anybody. Costco doesn't feel they have to, and Whole Foods, well, Whole Foods is Whole Foods. What happens when you leave Costco out of the mix? They're the largest wine retailer in the US. They rotate their stock often, unlike supermarkets, which change it twice a year, and they discount very deeply. Has a huge impact on the wine market. If Costco doesn't sell a wine that's on Nielsen's top seller list, how accurate is that list? If Costco does sell a wine, chances are it's going to be sold for a lot less money than Nielsen or IRI thinks it is, and that affects your list too. Whole Foods and Trader Joe's have a greater urban presence, they have more local control over their wines, and appeal more to younger buyers, so you're not being included in the national data if you fit some of these categories. When you leave out small wine retailers, you may underestimate particular country sales, and it also it skews the representation of particular varietals. That's also true of direct-to-consumer sales. Probably most of you buy from small retailers, so guess what? The wines you write about are not represented in national sales data at all. So I was kind of surprised to see this. If you're in the wine industry, you probably knew this already. I didn't. So you can find some other data out there. You know, distributor and retail associations do professional surveys, but they're member-driven and expensive data, and sometimes confidential, and are generally not packaged well for the public. Nielsen and IRI do a lot of consumer panel data, which tells you kind of why rather than what. They're not very comprehensive. It does include some wine shop data, but I couldn't get anything out of it when I saw them. So how are you going to use this information? Well, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, frankly, I can't tell you what's missing, but I think that you have to take all of these with a huge grain of salt. So you need to understand the limitations. As I said, it doesn't cover very much. You can ask Nielsen and IRI for some state and regional data because that might help you. State and ABA reports also help. Country and regional reports like the Côte d'Ivoire Trade Association. And TTB can also give you data on foreign sales. So, wow, that was 5 minutes, wasn't it? Okay, thanks. You can check out my website, firstwine.com, and the Vine Art blog you can get to through that website as well. Thanks. Thanks a lot for